Disney Plus has finally launched, and so has Star Wars Mandalorians. What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you guys my reaction to Star Wars The Mandalorian. I just finally was able to see it after getting some time in, and all I gotta say is I loved it. It was great, nice way to start things off, especially with the ending. Now, be forewarned, guys, there will be spoilers in this, but for the first half, I am doing non-spoilers, and then I'll let you know when I'm going into spoiler territory. So let's just start off with how I think this TV show is. Now, this is the first ever live action TV series for a Star Wars series, because every time we've always had TV series of Star Wars, they were always animated and stuff like that. This is our first ever live action one of it, and all I gotta say is the CGI and the stuff they did with it, from the costumes and the CGI and the settings and stuff, it actually makes you look like you are truly watching a Star Wars movie in the movie theater. More like, or better yet, it's like saying a Star Wars movie has been transferred over here and instead is a TV series. Because really, the way you look at it, from when they're launched in space to going to the planet and seeing how it all looks, it's almost seriously just like how it is in movies. It's like a different experience here, because all live action films of Star Wars were always movies, and this is the first ever TV series of it. So it makes you feel kind of different and stuff, in a good way though, a very good way. And I'll ask for the actor himself, the main character himself, Dane, or I forgot his name. I do apologize for that. I need to recheck back on that. But he plays the Mandalorian very well. His presence sparks intimidation, knowing that you don't want to cross this guy. He barely talks, and when he does talk, he means something, and he's a no-nonsense person who wants to get the job done, but that still doesn't mean a no-nonsense person like him can't have his sense of humor to show for it either. And then there's in the fact that this movie, how it's showing about how, like, and the galaxy is, at least for the lower part of it, ever since the Empire has been destroyed, because this takes place 5 years after the the second Death Star was destroyed. And not only that, though, it also, this entire time when I was watching that, I keep saying movie because, like I said, guys, it looks like a movie. But that aside, as I kept watching the show though, for this first episode, all throughout it, it just felt like Western style to me, but just more in space, Western style space, and it worked to its advantages. It's like, say for instance, in DC, you got Jonah Hex with his cowboy bounty hunter ways, and you got a Mandalorian here who's a very skilled fighter, because, well, he's Mandalorian, who, by the way, he seems to be proud and take pride in the fact of what his ancestry of Mandalorians is all about, which you see here in the episode when he goes to another planet to get a bounty on the newest that he was given from a new assignment of people. By the way, the ending, be ready for it if you guys haven't seen it yet. It's gonna be one of those endings where it's gonna probably answer us a question that many Star Wars fans has always had on their mind, or let it be inside their mind. But definitely, guys, the first episode really kicked things off to some very interesting stuff going forward. For one, for our main protagonist here, and for all the other people who are going to be in this film. And it's already off to an interesting plot twist, and it gives you a few hints as what we might see going forward into the series. But that right there, is my non-spoilery part of it. And if I'm to give this thing a score, I give it an 8.5 out of 10 for a starting episode. It started off well. It's exactly what I expected out of Mandalorians and the main protagonist, especially some of the fight scenes they showed for that guy. And like I said, truly felt like Western style, but also with how his style of fighting is, kind of like reminded me of Jango Fett and Boba Fett, but that's what works for it. And that right there, guys, is my non-spoiler review of it. So I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds here, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, if you guys are still here, that means you've already seen it and you're ready for the spoiler part, or you just don't care. So here's the spoiler breakdown of it. So this guy, we're first introduced to him already on assignment, here to pick up his bounty. And well, after picking him up, does he freeze him and all, just like all his other captors, into carbonite? And all that made me think of was Empire Strikes Back. Crazy stuff, but it really worked for it. And it's great that they were letting us be introduced to the guild he's a part of and how they work out with things. He's not part of a guild that's bad. They're actually a very busy guild. But things really start to heat up for this guy when he goes to a new buyer who has deep pockets. And this new buyer is actually part of the Empire, or was part of the Empire before the Empire was no more. And yeah, seeing all them stormtroopers in there and that face off they all had, very intense. It really worked to its advantage there. But with his new assignment, he went over to the new planet where he also met somebody who seems to want to help him out because of Mandalore. He thinks and prophesies that Mandalorians are going to bring peace back to the planet or something like that. But one thing I did like was during that time when he was teaching that guy how to ride those creatures on that planet. It truly did feel like, yeah, like I said, it's right there in that scene from the end that it truly felt Western, from a bounty hunter trying to learn how to ride one of those things, like trying to ride a horse and everything. And first off failing, but when the guy told him about his Mandalorian and ancestryhood and how they were, it motivated him to keep on going, showing this kid is proud of being a Mandalorian and of what his Mandalorian ancestors were capable of. And also, before going on his new assignment, we were shown him when he was getting new armor plate put on him. We were given a few flashbacks to who he was as a kid. It looks like he ended up becoming an orphan because his parents and him were all being attacked by somebody, but his parents left him behind so he could live on. And I guess somehow later on he became a Mandalorian, or was a Mandalorian, found people from Mandalorian, something like that. I hope for that to be explored later on down in episodes, or if not in season 1, it could be something to set up for season 2. I know it's too early to say that, but come on, I think we all know there's going to be a season 2 for this. But still, here comes, now we get to the real twister of things. So when he finally made it to the place where he was said to capture these people for this former guy part of the Empire, first he meets a bounty droid, which, by the way, this guy don't seem to have a liking for droids. But the real twister came at the end. The species that he was said to capture was actually this.
Perhaps it could live many centuries. The commission was quite specific.
Yes, guys, that was a species of Yoda. No, and like I said, this is one of those things that have always been in Star Wars fans' head. What is Yoda's species? Who are they and stuff? And now here we've got an infant species of Yoda here. And as soon as this guy found out, it's like he wouldn't kill it because, for one, maybe it's because it's a baby and it reminded him of what happened when he was a kid. But one thing I cannot deny is seeing that just threw me for a loop, just like I'm sure it threw everybody else for a loop. We have here an infant species of Yoda's species here. So we will probably, this is no doubt probably leading us into learning a bit about his species here, if not a good chunk of it, because let's face it, George Lucas made it clear that he never wanted us to really know about Yoda's species. He wanted him to be that person that he's there, he plays his role, and then he just leaves. And yeah, I admit that's good to do because it keeps people invested. So I would like to think that even though they're going to give us a bit more on his species, don't give us a whole lot of it. Just give us maybe a tad bit to where it can calm our nerves or something like that. Because I kind of like how George Lucas does that. Because that's what makes me like Yoda and his mysteriousness of his species and his wisdom and everything. But definitely, guys, loved it. Star Wars Mandalorians, what a great start. And I've been liking Disney Plus so far. I've been watching through a lot of my old school favorites from childhood. X-Men the animated series, and hey, I was even able to revisit another hero who inspired many other comic book characters, and that was Zorro. Ah, boy, it's great to have childhood memories back, just like the DC Universe has childhood memories for me back to watch out again. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it all at that, guys. Hey, and if you're enjoying my videos, all you got to do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, Mega Geek Mixer signing out. Bye!